Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Brandon Morvillius. Alongside with me is cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy here live on the WHS Network on YouTube.com. We have Lady Raider Volleyball coming your way here this evening from beautiful Raider Gymnasium in Selma, Indiana. The 3-19 Winchester Lady Golden Falcons taking on your 23-4 Wapahani Lady Raiders. Glad to have you all with us here this evening as we'll get right into things here with our Raiders Live pregame presented by Tom Cherry Mufflers. Wapahani, it's been a while since we've been able to broadcast in one of their games. It's roughly been close to 2 weeks since we've last broadcasted a game. And, start off the week last week with two very nice wins against Muncie Central and then also against Union, another MEC conference win. And so then you go into the Delaware County tournament, which started last Thursday. Wapahani was able to get the job done against Westdale. That was in 4 sets, and then was able to go out there and take care of business against Delta, and what was a fantastic ball game there. But unfortunately, Yorktown, being the Achilles heel of ours, took us down in the county tournament championship game there on Saturday evening. But still a 23-4 record here on the season so far. We only have 2 regular season games, two, season games here at home. But then we're back on the road this weekend for another invitational down at Columbus East. But Wapahani, they definitely have a lot to be proud of so far in the season, but just still looking to get over that hump, so to speak. Playing against these tougher teams, we haven't been able to get past that. Now, obviously, you look at Winchester. No, the record isn't very good. But you still got to treat it like any other game. You still got to go out here, play effective, and play together and play the game the right way. And hopefully we can be very successful here this evening. But you can never take any team lightly. I don't care what their record is or what everybody's predicting. It's going to be a blowout. Well, make it happen then. Don't be going out here and just letting the talk bother you. Just go out there, settle things, do things the right way, and get the W. And so it obviously shouldn't probably be much of a game here tonight, but obviously we wanted to make sure and get on the air. It's been a while since we've been able to broadcast, so this is important to us and making sure to get recognition out to these young student athletes out here. So, folks, we'll go ahead and step aside here for a break. I got to get back here to my PA announcing duties, but we'll be back here with the national anthem and then tonight's rosters again for tonight's game between the Winchester Lady Golden Falcons and your Wapahani Lady Raiders. Again, this has been Raiders Live, presented by Tom Cherry Mufflers. We'll be back with more right after this break. All righty, welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen. This is again Brandon Morvillius. Alongside with me is cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy, back with Lady Raider Volleyball here this evening. Again, the 3-19 Winchester Lady Golden Falcons taking on your 23-4 Wapahani Lady Raiders. So take a look here at tonight's rosters. First for Winchester, number 10, Alyssa Osborne. Number 13, Shelby Miller. Number 5, Kalista Holt. Number 6, Riley Helms. Number 8, Kara Mosier. Number 2, Kate Hendrickson. Number 4, Cammie Miller. Number 9, Autumn Abel. Number 3, Morgan Williams. Number 1, Gina Moore. Number 12, Taylor Baker. Number 7, Emma Weist. The Lady Golden Falcons are coached by Aaron Lewis. Now we'll take a look here at your Wapahani Lady Raiders. Number 1, Gracie Stanley. Number 3, Ashton Zitgraff. Number 4, Haven Gates. Number 5, Emily Stewart. Number 6, Stella Davis. Number 7, Sarah Orm. Number 8, Allison Stewart. Number 9, Mallory Summers. Number 11, Emma Shuck. Number 12, Cameron Curry. Number 13, Maddie Webb. Number 15, Layla Lee. Number 16, Olivia Smith. Number 17, Cadence Brewer. And number 18, Kaylee Fender. And the Lady Raiders coached by Jared Richardson, assisted by Jenna Easton. And again, tonight's officials. The up referee will be Vivian Malone, and the down referee, Enda Carey. So again, that's tonight's rosters as we are gearing up for tonight's matchup. Again, it's been a couple weeks or so since we've been live on the air. We appreciate you all for joining us here this evening. It has been a while, but getting back here in the saddle, so to speak, and hoping for some more great Lady Raider volleyball here tonight. So we'll start off here with number 1, Gina Moore. Dug out by Orm, set to Davis. And that will be a nice, easy first point to open up tonight's match. So already a quick substitution here. We'll see number 16, Olivia Smith, now into the ball game for Cameron Curry, and Smith will be back to serve. Dug out that time by number 5, Holt. Tipped across. Here's a little free ball action. Set to Davis again. And that one tapped out of bounds to tie this game at 1. So a 2-1 Winchester lead. Back to serve number 13, Shelby Miller. Gates with the dig. Stewart sets it to Davis, and she'll get it back across again. No Mallory Summers here tonight, giving her the night off. She's been battling there with a little minor injury. She played this past weekend, so giving her a little R&R, a little rest and relaxation, and hope that she will be ready to go. Hopefully come Wednesday night. We got Cowan of the MEC Conference finale there on Wednesday night. That will also be senior night right here from Raider Gymnasium. So obviously we'll have all the festivities live here on the air. If you can't make it, or even if you're able to come, you can always go back and watch it. That's the great thing about now being on YouTube. As that ball is hit out of bounds, another point here for Winchester, and so far things have not went according to plan, I guess you could say, here for the Lady Raiders. As we'll see Emily Stewart now into the ball game, seeing her first action of the night. Number 3, Morgan Williams, back to serve for the Golden Falcons. But as I was saying, Wednesday night we got Cowan, which should be a great, great game. Cowan looked really good the other day there on Thursday and Saturday, and so that's going to be a pretty tough matchup here for us. As we'll see Kaylee Fender now in here for the first time of the night for Stella Davis, so Kaylee will be back to serve. But then our annual Columbus East trip down to Columbus, Indiana for the Invitational down there on Saturday morning. We're still waiting to hear back if we'll be able to get down there to broadcast those games. Our intentions are to, but we'll just kind of have to wait and see. We'll know a little bit more, hopefully, during Wednesday's game. We'll be able to give you a little bit more information for all you fine folks out there, and try to get down there to broadcast some great games. That's a great tournament to go to, especially to close out the season, get you ready for sectional time. That's always a very big tournament for us to be in with a lot of great teams. So hopefully we'll be able to make the trip down there to Columbus, Indiana, coming up this weekend. A 6-3 Raiders lead here in set number 1. Strong start here so far. Had a couple little hiccups, but for the most part, it's done pretty good. 2 hits called on the Lady Golden Falcons, and they will take a timeout. And we will stick right here with you during the timeout. Again, Wapahani 23-4 here on the season. You really look back at what we've been able to accomplish, at least to this point in the season. And really our biggest hiccups have just been these tougher teams, and that's what I was talking about in our pregame report. Just from the simple standpoint of being able to get over that hump, so to speak, getting over the hill. And, because obviously with the team that we have a tough team here. We have a good team. Sure, we are inexperienced, I think. We're very young from the standpoint of, experience and getting some of the girls that haven't been playing onto the varsity level now and showcasing their talent. So, it's been a little bit of a learning curve, so to speak, as the season has went along, and I'm sure they're still trying to, grasp things, so to speak. But overall, we really haven't done too bad. Like I said, if we can just get past these tougher teams, it's always easy to beat the easy teams. The teams that are, kind of defenseless, so to speak. It's these tougher teams that, because I would consider us a tough team as well. We just got to get over the hump. And when we're able to do that, then I would definitely say watch out. That's for sure. I would say many teams should definitely watch out. We'll see Estella Davis back in here. The old switcheroo as Haven Gates comes back to the Lady Raider lineup. Number 12. Taylor Baker now serving for Winchester. It's now an 8-4 ball game. Dug out by Stewart, tipped across and sent that time by Moore and off the hands of Allison Stewart and out of bounds. So a point there again goes to Winchester as they've already racked up 5 points here. And that one served into the net. Now a 9-5 Wapahani lead. Cameron Curry back into the Raider lineup. Allison Stewart back to serve. Again, a very quiet crowd here this evening. It's kind of like essentially going to a golf match. It's very quiet. There's not a whole lot of chatter and so on and so forth. So we kind of have to push the quiet button here as well, at least from my standpoint. Redbeard's always quiet over there. Occasionally you might hear him say something here and there, but it's hard to keep me quiet, so it's a little bit of a challenge for me here this evening, because I definitely do not want someone outside to probably hear me because it's that quiet in here. There's Gates with a setup to Orm. Dug out that time by Baker. Holt back on the attack. Here we go. Gates sets it back to Orm once more and hit out of bounds. So the Raiders, again, they're not really looking too sharp here to start. There we go. So we finally found the volleyball. Probably wouldn't be a horrible idea just to close the doors, so then you won't have to worry about a delay game. So Orm collects the kill right there as Wapahani takes a 2-point lead. Emma Shuck back in here for Emily Stewart. And we will see Sarah Orm back to serve. Handled there by Moore, tipped across by Miller, and down in play. And another substitution here. We'll see number 3, Morgan Williams, back in here for Winchester. There's Gates to Stewart, over to Shuck, and into the net, and boy, don't look now, but this game's tied. Very, gotta say, very surprising. No disrespect to the ladies there of Winchester by any means, but I think right now Wapahani has definitely pushed the relax button. But we got plenty of time to get out of that. Gates will dig it out, set up to Curry, using the old left hand. Wasn't exactly drawn up that way, but hey, you do anything you can to be able to get the ball over net. Nicely done there by Cameron Curry. As we will see Haven Gates now back to serve. Dugout set by Moore to Miller, and that's it out of bounds, as the Raiders will retake the lead here, 12-11. Nice job of Winchester there to find a way to get that ball over. So Shuck putting the hammer down on that one, able to collect a kill, and gives the Raiders now a 2-point margin. Moore with the setup, back to Miller. Handled by Stewart. Gates to Orm. Dug out that time by Osborne. Baker sets it to Miller, mishandled that time. And we're going to see a timeout taken again here by Winchester, as the Lady Raiders own a 14-11 lead. We'll step aside. We'll be back right after the break.
Need legal advice or representation, you can trust B. Joseph Davis, attorney at law in Muncie. Our focus is personal injury. We handle cases involving serious injuries, wrongful deaths, all vehicle crashes, nursing home cases, medical product and drug recalls, and slips, trips, and falls. No fee until we win. We offer evening, weekend, home, and hospital appointments for your convenience. Contingency fee arrangements are available. For a free consultation, call B. Joseph Davis, attorney at law, today.
All righty, welcome back out of the timeout here. Wapahani with a 14-11 lead. Out of the timeout here, we'll see Haven Gates back to serve. Set up the Shuck once more. Dug out that time by Osborne. Gates again, back to Shuck. I think they might have got away with 2 hit right there, potentially. Great job there by Davis. Was set up to go one way, tipped it back across the other direction. So 5 unanswered put together here by the Raiders. Nice dig there by Orm, set to Curry. Osborne with a dig. And 2 hits this time called on Winchester's Taylor Baker. So Wapahani starting to slowly but surely get it together a little bit. And as soon as I say that, we hit it into the net. I should have never said anything. That's the old broadcasting jinx once again, Redbeard.
Every time.
That's right, every single time. So nevertheless, we'll see Gina Moore back to serve for Winchester. Wapahani up by 4 here in the opening set of tonight's matchup. Curry back on the attack. And hit off of her teammate's face. She's probably not going to be too happy about that one. Nevertheless, 17-12 as Olivia Smith gets reacclimated into the Raider lineup here. Back to serve. Dug out Moore with a setup. Williams trying to get it across, but that will be blocked by, I'm not sure if that was Stewart or Davis with the block. Either way, we got it and got the point, and that's all that matters. And then that time will be an ace for Olivia Smith to make it 19-12. Mishandled, and Winchester, as of right now, hitting it every which way but the right way, due to the fantastic serving of Olivia Smith. And now a rotation violation on Winchester. Just a lot of unforced errors. You know, you really look at, you know, how really that dictates the outcome of a ball game. If you're able to just do the little things correctly. That's such a killer. So another ace. Smith really starting to rack those things up. I think that is now her 4th or 5th ace already. There's Gates with a dig. Stewart sets it over to Shuck. Mishandled by Miller. And the Raiders are now 2 points away from taking set number 1 of the evening. Set up to Miller, tips it across, and that will land in there for the Golden Falcons. So a nice job there by Smith. Really put some points on the board here as Shelby Miller will be back to serve for Winchester as it's 23-13 Wapahani. Gates will dig it out. Stewart sets it to Shuck and in there for the kill. So set point now for the Raiders. 24-13. And Emma Shuck will be back to serve. Dug out there by Williams. Set to number 4, Miller, and hit out of bounds. And the Raiders will take tonight's opening set 25-13. So they now own a 1-0 lead. We'll step aside here for a break. Again, this will be our Stoops Automotive Group game break. Raiders lead it 1-0.
We know the right way to get you where you need to go. We'll be the wheels underneath you, out on the road. We're driven to give you the best service. We're driven cause we know you deserve it. Stoops, we're driven to be the best. Stoops, we're driven to be the best.
Stop on in at Jones Auto Body, owned by J.R. Payne in the 1901 East Memorial Drive in Muncie, Indiana. Jones Auto Body is one of Muncie's oldest and largest auto repair and paint shops, in which they have been serving the community for over 30 years. Jones Auto Body, assurance of quality. Alrighty, welcome back here, folks. Again, Brandon Morvillius alongside with me is cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy as we get geared up for set number 2. Wapahani again takes the first set 25-13. So things didn't necessarily quite start out as well as we had hoped to open up the ball game. At one point, we was down 11-10. But luckily, we was able to kick it into high gear and was able to get the victory and move on to set number 2 here. So we'll start things off here with Haven Gates back to serve here for the Raiders. Stewart will set it up to Emma Shuck in there for the kill. Good to see her coming out here and putting forth a great effort here this evening. Emma, always kind of has the talent there. Doesn't always probably get quite the recognition, I guess, that she probably deserves it sometimes. At least we try to give it to her, along with all the rest of these girls. But, when you got all these other heavy hitters, sometimes, they might, outshine or whatever the case might be than one another. But Emma's done a pretty nice job here. They got a lot of girls, I think, that's really done a solid job. Cameron Curry, I think, is another one. You can always talk about, the Stella Davises or the Sarah Orms or, the Mallory Summers, from a hitting standpoint. But, and that's all fine and dandy, but it's always, some of these other ones that might not always light up the stat book that are able to come in key moments throughout a ball game and really do what they can to help the team win. And I think that's always great, to have the backbone of the team. It's always great to see others persevere and come out here and play a good ball game and help the team win. Tell you what, another one of those, Olivia Smith, really come out of the gate here tonight, playing a very good ball game for herself. Davis on the attack there, and Winchester will have no answer for that one. You look at other girls here. Cadence Brewer, a freshman here for Wapahani. Started the year on JV and dressed some varsity. Now she's on varsity full-time, not even dressing JV now, as we'll have a timeout here on the court, a 5-1 Wapahani lead. And we'll go ahead and stick right here with you. But, a lot of these girls, that's what I was talking about earlier, just the youth and the inexperience of the team. A lot of these girls, I know me and Redbeard was talking to Brian Beaver on Saturday. Shout out there to Brian. A good friend of ours, but talking about how really, in all honesty, if you really look at our team, very young from a varsity level experience standpoint. I mean, you have relatively 4 players on the team that have seen any kind of varsity time. Obviously you got Stella Davis, Haven Gates, Sarah Orm, Mallory Summers. Those 4 girls right there are really the elder statesman, if you will, of the team, even though Mallory's only a sophomore. But, they've seen a bulk of the load of time, whereas, some of these other girls haven't quite, seen that, and, they've dressed maybe, but still dressing isn't going out there, and it's nothing like going out there and playing it against, really tough teams and getting that experience firsthand. So, I really commend these girls coming out here and like I said, learning the game at this kind of level. This is a very tough sport. Obviously, I never played it, but watching it and broadcasting it for many years, I really have a lot of respect for these ladies. And like I said earlier, 23-4 record so far here on the season. Definitely nothing to be ashamed of. You just hope at the end of the season, you're the one that's number one and holding that title. As Estella Davis is back on the attack once again. It is now a 7-1 lead. I guess I've fallen behind there by a point. I apologize. I guess that's what I get for rambling on. Let's see Layla Lee now into the ball game for Estella Davis. Olivia Smith back to serve. Nice little floater serve there, set up to Miller, as that one will be hit into the net. As the woes continue here for Winchester. But, if you're Wapahani, you're not necessarily out here to, per se, really make anybody look bad. You're just out here to play the game, and if it happens, then it happens. But, there's really not a whole lot you can do about it. You just got to play the game the right way. And, I know things, when things are good, it's always, easy to cheer or maybe to get a little cocky, I guess. But you'll get a little bit of a dose of your own medicine at some point in time. We've had a little bit of that this season at times. But, you gotta stay even keel about things, that's for sure. Because things, as good as they are, can always go just as bad, quick, fast, and in a hurry. So we'll see. Shelby Miller back to serve. Smith with the dig. Stewart will set it up to Shuck. Nice handling right there. No, get it back over. Here we go. Stewart back to Lee. Miller, Moore, Williams tipped up in the air. Nice job there by Layla to keep it going, as Orm will hit that one into the net, as it's now a 9-3 ball game. And 2 hits called on Winchester. So Emma Shuck back to serve here for Wapahani. Up by 7 here in set number 2. Make it up by 8 now with that ace. Was handled there, but kept alive and put across there by Hendrickson. Stewart to Orm. Dug out that time by Osborne. Lee with a soft touch over the net. Get the job done right there. 12-3 Wapahani. Little floater serve there by Emma. There's Smith to Stewart, back to Orm. And another one hit into the net. In comes Emily Stewart for Emma Shuck, and now serving will be number 3, Morgan Williams. So an ace there for Williams. Smith digs it out. Orm somehow keeps it alive, and Lee will punch it over. And some good action on all sides in a net violation called on Winchester. Still love the hustle there from both sides, as we will see number 7, Emma Wiest, however it's pronunciated. If I did not get that right, then I apologize. But we'll have Haven Gates back to serve. Moore with the setup there to Holt. There's Smith, and Stewart sets at the Orm, and another kill for Sarah Orm to make it a 9-point lead. Set up and blocked there by Brewer. Soft touch over the net. Back at it again. That time will be Cammie Miller for the Golden Falcons. And now back in here will be number 12, Taylor Baker. She'll be back to serve. 14-6. Raiders lead it here in set number 2. Again, if you're just now joining us, the Raiders took set number 1, 25-13. Gates with a set over the net. Well, free ball action here. Cadence Brewer on the attack that time. This time, but kept alive. Smith with a hit of her own. Good action right here. Orm back on the attack with the kill. So Curry back in here for Wapahani. Allison Stewart now back to serve. Cameron Curry came in for Olivia Smith. And that will be 4 hits on Winchester. Who's going to get there? They'll finally tip it across. Orm back on the attack. Nobody's going to get there, as the Raiders now push the lead to 11. And that one be served out of bounds by Allison Stewart. We'll see number 4, Cammie Miller, back to serve for the Golden Falcons. And into the net she goes. Back in is Osmond for Winchester. Shuck back in for the Raiders. And we'll also now see Gracie Stanley for the first time of the night. She'll come in for Sarah Orm. So Stanley now back to serve. And a point for Wapahani on that one. Brewer will not be denied. Dug out by Baker, set to Miller. Gates laying out for it there. Set up to Shuck now. And pulls it off right over there along the sidelines. He's able to sneak it in over there. Now a 20-7 lead, and another timeout taken by Winchester. And we'll go ahead and take a timeout here with them, folks. Again, this is our Stoops Automotive Group game break. Wapahani leads in set number 2, 20-7. All righty, folks, back out of the timeout again. The Raiders here with a 20-7 lead in set number 2 of the evening, as that one will be hit out of bounds by Miller. And the Raiders continue to pile on here in set number 2. We was expecting much of this in the first set. It didn't necessarily work out that way to start, but like I said, Wapahani kicked it into high gear, got back to playing the game the right way, and obviously worked out well for him with a commanding first set victory of 25-13. So Stanley still back to serve. Wapahani now 3 points away from taking the second set. Dug out there by Baker. Set to Miller. Tips it over with the left hand. Gates sets it to Curry. Osborne with the dig. Missed time, but worked out well. Tell you what, Miller, using what the good Lord gave her, some long arms, was able to stretch out just enough to get a fingertip on the ball to get it back over. 22-8, number 5, Kalista Holt now back to serve. Curry on the attack. There's Holt. Now set to Williams. Gates will lay out for it. Nice dig right there. And a little free ball action for Winchester. And that will be in front of the outstretched hands of Gracie Stanley. Now 22-9, and in will come Ashton Zitgraff. Seeing her first action of the evening. Good for her. There's Gates, mishandled, but look at Zitgraff coming into the game. Flying through the air, digging that one out and getting it over the net, and ends up getting the Raiders a point. Nicely done. Number 7, Emma Weiss will now come back in here. Layla Lee also in here for the Raiders. And Haven Gates back to serve. Set to Williams. There's Gates. Zitgraff to Shaw. Williams back on the attack again, but blocked that time. And no, actually, they're going to say that was 4 hits. Thought we might have got a piece of that, but evidently we didn't, and I'm not going to complain about it. So here we are, set point. Gates back to serve. 24-9 second set lead. The floater serve. Osborne will pass that one over the net. Set to Stanley and blocked by Miller. That's really not a whole lot you're going to do about that one, especially when you don't have anybody up there close to the net like that to defend a ball, such as what Miller was able to do right there. Gates with a dig. Zitgraff over to Shuck, and that will land in there. Really didn't have to put a whole lot on it. Don't always have to, but the Raiders now take a 2-0 lead, 25-13, 25-10, as we will once again step aside here for a break. Again, this will be the Stoops Automotive Group game break here. Wapahani leads it 2-0 over the Winchester Lady Golden Falcons. We'll be back with more right after this break. All right, welcome back here, folks. Set number 3 on the books here from Raider Gymnasium here live on the WHS Network on YouTube.com. Again, greatly appreciate you all for spending some time with us here this evening, inviting us in for a beautiful evening of Lady Raider volleyball. As again, Wapahani with a 2-0 lead already here over Winchester, 25-13, 25-10. So third set now underway as that will be set up to Curry, dug out by Osborne. There's Davis back on the attack, dug out that time by Moore. Tipped across, will free ball action here. Got to use this to your advantage. Shuck with a soft touch, and again works out nicely. She starts the third set like she ended the second. So nicely done there by Emma, and now we'll see Cameron Curry back to serve. So Curry will serve that one into the net. So we'll see Shelby Miller back to serve. Smith with the dig. Stewart sets it to Davis. And that hit the old antenna. So now a 2-1 Winchester lead. Tell you what, we've also had really a real nice crowd here this evening. I'd say probably have roughly 75 to 100 people here, which for a Monday night of volleyball, it's not too bad, I wouldn't say. Glad to see people come out and support these ladies, coaches, and the whole bit. Nice job right there by Sarah Orm. Tipped it right back down where it came from, as that will give the Raiders their first lead here their second lead here in set number 3. Now a 3-2 lead. Well, floater served, worked to perfection there by Emma. If you ever notice, folks, right before we start the rosters and everything else, actually just right before the national anthem, we always have Emma and Olivia come up here. They think it's overly fantastic. They think it's hilarious, funny, to get an up-close camera view of themselves. So they got to come up here. It's kind of a ritual for them to come up here every single game, get right in front of the camera, do something crazy, whatever it might be. So if you guys ever do see that, that's the reason why. That's just, I guess, girls being girls, I suppose. Just trying to have a good time. Which, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. We get people that will walk through our camera view all the time that has no care whatsoever in the world, it seems like. So at least we can have someone on here that at least has a little bit of fun here. But a 6-2 Raiders lead here in set number 3. Another timeout taken. Again, some upcoming broadcasts again here for us. We'll be back on the air Wednesday night. We will be welcoming the Cowan Lady Blackhawks for the final home game of the year and final conference game of the year. A very big game against Cowan, a very impressive team. Like I said, we seen them last week. They're in the county tournament. We didn't play them, but we definitely got to watch them. They have a very good team over there, very well coached, and that's going to be a tough ball game for us. So we need all of you out there in Raider Nation to come on out here. Obviously, like I said, it's senior night, so it's a very big evening to begin with, but especially being for a conference championship, come out here and hopefully perform well. But if you guys can make it, come on out, support them. You can always come, watch the game later on or watch the game as it's going on your phones. But if you can't make it, like I said, we'll be live right here on the WHS Network, having all the festivities, all the senior night festivities and everything. We'll make sure and have that on here for all you fine folks out there. as we'll have a couple of substitutions now for Wapahani. We'll see Layla Lee back in here, and also now seeing her first action of the night, number 13, Maddie Webb. So glad to see her get in there here this evening and see what she can add to the game here tonight. Now a 7-2 lead. Shuck still back to serve. Nice little tip over the net, kept alive by Lee, set to Maddie Webb, and in there. So already making a mark on the game as Maddie just comes right in, sneaks in a kill, and contributes now to the 8-2 lead. Hit into the net there by number 2, Kate Hendrickson. Holt on the attack that time. Shuck digs it out. Stewart to Lee. And again, the soft touch. Keeping the defense off balance is always the name of the game. Can't allow them to get comfortable, and Wapahani has definitely done a nice job of making sure that the opponent has not been comfortable here tonight. So Winchester will hit that one into the stands. Just got to keep them coming right here if you're Emma. The Raiders have been able to string a nice amount of points together here. I think that is what now, 10 points in a row. I think we was down 2-1. And that one will land in there for another kill, this time again for Maddie Webb. So a 12-2 lead. Again, all Wapahani here in set number 3, and a substitution here. We'll see number 7, Emma Weiss, back in here. Set over the net. Here's Stewart back to Lee. And again, a soft tip over the net. Working to perfection there for Layla. Shuck dug it out. Hey, kept alive. Tell you what, thank the good Lord that the basketball goal was up there. If not, that would have been a souvenir for one of the fans. So, worked out nicely there. Now a 14-2 lead and another timeout taken by Winchester. We'll take a timeout here with them. Raiders lead at 14-2 here in set number 3. We'll be back right after the break.
We know the right way to get you where you need to go. We'll be the wheels underneath you, out on the road. We're driven to give you the best service. We're driven cause we know you deserve it. Stoops, we're driven to be the best. Stoops, we're driven to be the best.
Welcome back after the timeout here, folks. Again, Wapahani here with a 14-2 lead in set number 3 of the evening. Emma Shuck still back to serve. I'm sure after this is all said and done, she'll probably have to ice down her shoulder here. She's been getting after it here now for, 13 straight points. Wapahani was down 2-1, and it's now 14-2 Raiders. So Shuck serves it back over the net once again, and another ace for Emma. And we'll see number 5, Holt, back in here for Winchester. And another ace. So Hendrickson ends the drought there for Winchester. That was a 15-0 run by Wapahani. It's always nice to be on the good side of those runs, because the other night we unfortunately we were not on the good side of those runs there against Yorktown. So it's nice to have nice long run of our own, as it's now 17-3. Cadence Brewer now in the ball game, and we'll see number 9, Autumn Abel, now in for Winchester, with Haven Gates back to serve. So we got Gates, Emily Stewart, Olivia Smith, Maddie Webb, Cadence Brewer, and Ashton Zitgraff now in the ball game here for Wapahani. So we'll see if Haven can just go ahead and serve the game the rest of the way out. Let's see what happens here. There's Stewart, Zitgraff. Oh, look at Brewer using the left hand. Missed time, but still worked out okay. And now we'll see Kaylee Fender now in the game for Wapahani. Not sure. I think this might be the first time of the night Kaylee Fender's been in there. Maybe not. I think she might have been maybe in there in the first set. And, that was hit inbounds. Thought it might have been out of bounds there, but snuck in along the sideline, as we'll see number 12, Taylor Baker, back in for Winchester, and she'll be back to serve. So the Raiders 6 points away from taking tonight's ball game and moving on to 24-4 on the season. Zitgraff with a set up to Brewer, and another one hit out of bounds. And that one served out of bounds by Baker to make it a 20-5 lead. Back in comes Cameron Curry for Wapahani. And Ashton Zitgraff will be back to serve. Nice serve there from Zitgraff. A little free ball action here. Zitgraff over to Webb. Nice dig there by Baker. Set back to Webb one more time around. Moore tips it across and is able to find the open hole in the defense. So Miller in for Winchester, and number 4, Cammie Miller, back to serve. Fender digs it. There's Stewart. And Zitgraff will get it back across. Baker sets it to Miller. Zitgraff with the dig. And tipped back down by Cadence Brewer. And in will come Gracie Stanley for Maddie Webb. So 21-6. Wapahani just 4 points away. And hit out of bounds. Shuck back in for Stewart. Nice serve there by Gracie. An ace for Stanley, 23-6. Baker with the dig. A free ball here. There's Fender to Zitgraff to Curry, and hit out of bounds, and that will make it now 23-7. We'll have another substitution here for Winchester. Number 3, Morgan Williams, back in here as Kalista Holt will now be back to serve. Nice little soft touch there by Cameron Curry. Worked to perfection on that one. And the Raiders now with game point 24-7. We'll see Cadence Brewer back to serve. And served out of bounds. Nice try anyway. We'll see number 2, Hendrickson, back in here, and Moore back to serve. Brewer digs it out. Not usually one to play in the back row, but hey, guess you got to learn sometime or another. And blocked by Miller. That was a real nice pass and setup. So again, Moore back to serve, 24-9 now. Zitgraf over to Fender and blocked again by Miller. Shelby Miller. I just want to go back to the good old faithful there. Just tip it over. Tip it over the hands and let the defense do the rest. So there's Fender, back to Zitgraf, to Shuck. Well, she went for the soft tip over the net, but unfortunately that time it didn't make it over the net. We forgot that part. We'll get her next time. Layla Lean out in here for Fender. 24-11. Still a multitude of game points left. Curry with the soft tip. Now to Miller on the attack there, and another one will fall in. Zitgraf sets it to Shuck. Osmond will keep it alive, and they will hit it into the net, and that's all she wrote here, folks, as the Lady Raiders will take it tonight in straight sets. 25-13, 25-10, 25-12. Now 24-4 on the year. Winchester falls to 3-20. So, folks, we'll step aside for a break. We'll be back with our pregame presented by Jones Auto Body right after this break. All righty, welcome back here, folks, with the Raiders Live post-game edition. Again, presented by Jones Auto Body. Again, Wapahani took care of business here tonight in straight sets. 25-13, 25-10, 25-12. Again, to advance, or to improve to 24-4 on the season and 8-0 in the conference. And speaking of which, we'll be back at it on Wednesday night. A big conference game there against the Cowan Lady Blackhawks. So make sure, get on here, watch us live. We'll have all of the senior night festivities, because obviously it's senior night on Wednesday night and the regular season home finale. And so a very big night here from Raider Gymnasium. If you get the opportunity, come on out and watch the ladies. If not, we'll have it all live right here on the air. But nevertheless, obviously, we had a good night, I think, overall of volleyball. Didn't start out too good there in the first set, but hopefully that was just a little minor hiccup because we got things back together, regrouped, and was able to take care of business from there, which was exactly what we expected here this evening. So, again, Wapahani now 24-4 on the year, back at it on Wednesday, right back here at home against Cowan. And then, like I said, this coming weekend, they will be traveling to Columbus East for their invitational on Saturday, which we'll make sure and give you guys more details coming up on Wednesday, whether or not if we'll be making the trip down there or not. We're hoping to, but we will definitely make sure to get back with you on that come Wednesday night's game against Cowan. So once again, folks, we greatly appreciate all of our sponsors: Jones Auto Body, Stoops Automotive Group, Buick and GMC Dealership, University Avenue Dental, Greg Pyle DDS, B. Joseph Davis, Attorney at Law, as well as the Muncie Dragway, FC Tucker, Muncie Realtors, Ted Cook and Joanne Davis, Tom Cherry Mufflers, the Barn Lot, and the Liberty Perry Alumni Association, as well as Harris Chapel Church, along with Pastor Jim Ballinger and his wife, Janie. So greatly appreciate all of them, and we appreciate all you for watching us here, folks. So again, this is Brandon Morvillius alongside cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy. It's been our Raiders Live post game presented by Jones Auto Body. We'll see you again next time on Wednesday night with more Lady Raider volleyball. Have a great night, folks.